Welcome to Don't Quote Me on That. One day we will have an intro, but today is not that day.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Kalina.
And I'm Elanor.
And welcome back to Don't Quote Me on That, where we kind of talk about movies. And I think, actually, this is like a live action movie we're basically talking about.
I mean, there is definitely a word for what it is, and that's not it, but...
No, it's like, you know how Bollywood movies, they give you an intermission? That's basically what this is. Just, you're watching it live. As they were filming, one shot. It's a one-take movie. If they filmed it legally, I'm correct.
Yes, if they filmed it legally, it is...
I'd like to clarify, not if they filmed it legally, but if they filmed it, legally, I am correct. And I do know it has been filmed. Therefore, I am correct.
I mean...
I'm not wrong?
I'm not... This isn't worth fighting about.
We're not fighting. We're having a jovial morning discussion.
I'll tell you that you're correct.
What's a jovial morning discussion?
It's
a healthy, friendly debate.
We've never been jovial in our
I'm very
lives.
jovial right now because Elanor is sitting next to me.
That's true. I feel like my audio is still gonna be bad
somehow. Oh, for sure. I always have to bump it 400%, and I don't think that should be possible.
Well, hey.
I'm the quiet talker.
Will inherit.
God loves a trier, and she tried. Anyway, we're talking about, I'm sure you can tell from the title. We'll end the suspense. Talking about Hadestown, the musical, except we put a little twist on it because Elanor has not seen that.
I have not. I've seen nothing.
She's seen nothing, actually. And so we're doing a little fun game we came up with a while ago. I think we did this for, what was it? Did I have you do it for Anastasia?
Little Shop.
Little Shop.
You didn't do it for Anastasia because I think I could recite the Anastasia.
It's a little bit different in the musical.
Uh-huh.
Actually, I should have you do the movie because the movie's got like spooky elements to it.
Ooh.
There's a wizard.
Ooh.
I know. They cut him out of the musical, unfortunately.
Did it go movie and then musical?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Long break in between. The movies from like when we were little. The musical was like a few years ago now, but still. Anyway, yeah, we did it for Little Shop. So basically, I give Elanor 5 songs off of a... I like musicals. Elanor does not. So I give Elanor 5 songs off of a musical soundtrack, and she has, and like kind of not together, just a random, they're in order, but like they're not like, it's not like 1 and 2. Yeah. I pick them and I give them to her, and basically she's got to listen to them and see if she can figure out what the plot is. I would say generally you have like an idea. Oh, we've done it once. You have an idea of like what the story is about going in.
I mean, one good thing about musical songs is that
they explain everything to you. They're like, but A, point B, point C.
This would be almost impossible to do with like a soundtrack to a regular movie. Probably.
No. What I told you, we talked about those jukebox musicals. I got to do one of those for you because those are just regular songs. I'm gonna like Moulin Rouge, Elanor, and the tracks on that are like Chandelier and what else? Roxanne. So.
No, please give me a fighting chance.
No.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I asked. That's all you can do.
That's all you can do. God loves a trier. That's so fun to say. I don't know why. Anyway, this week I gave Elanor 7 songs just because it's a little bit of a longer album and she had time and I had time off of Hadestown, the Hadestown soundtrack. And I would like to clarify for anyone who watches or listens to Hadestown, it was specifically Hadestown, I let her listen to the Broadway album, not the concept album. There are some differences. Album? We'll get into all of that later.
Oh boy. Okay.
Any thoughts going in?
I knew it was vaguely Greek mythology-y.
Yes.
And I read Percy Jackson as a child, so I had a lot of faith in myself. And then I started making things up.
I was listening back to the songs I gave you, and I was like, the first song spells it out.
It does, but
I'm hopeful there's some mystery.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll get right into it because we are us on a time crunch.
Shocking.
Insane. So anyway, going into it, first song I gave her was in fact the opening song. Everybody, this was "Road to Hell." I'll let Elanor take it away.
Yeah. So there's a train theme.
Yeah.
I copped on. So I did like notes about the songs themselves, and then I did like a little novel of what I thought was going on.
Okay.
So, how do you want to do this?
The songs. I'm both. Do what you think about the song, and then how it relates back to the overall plot.
Okay. So the
if that's
songs,
easy for you.
It was a very easy song, opening song. Gave us a little snapshot of what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Kalina's reading my notes, which...
No, I'm not. I can't see them.
Okay. First note, train theme.
Yeah.
Got that.
You're so smart.
Pretty confident about that one. And then they were on the road to hell, which is good because that's the name of the song. So I, with my big old brain, predicted they're gonna use the Greek choir as a storytelling device.
Look at you.
There is going to be Hades and no, I was a theater kid. It's worse. There's gonna be some Hades and Persephone in there, and there's also going to be a second related but also separate story about two Greek people, Orpheus and.
You got it.
Eurydice?
Yeah.
I definitely spelled it wrong, but I said they are in love.
Yeah.
So
it's like us.
Okay. So I guess we'll do my first little paragraph of
if
what I
you
think
gotta
is
scroll
being
up and
set
down, we can just do songs first. It's easier for you.
No, because they're connected. Because some of the songs I gave up doing notes for.
Okay.
So we're gonna do both.
All right.
Okay. So it's obviously a musical about the underworld from Greek mythology.
It's a musical?
I am confident in this guess.
It's a music.
Again, Greek choir. I am still confused about who the main narrator is. I don't know if he's a god or if he's just like the train conductor.
Okay.
Or both.
It's really funny because he does say his name.
He does?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well,
you were going at this without lyrics, so I'll get you some stuff.
I had no lyrics and I'm dumb, so factor that in.
Do you want me to give you the update as we go along or everything at the end?
I think give me the update as we go along.
Okay.
Okay. So main narrator is not the conductor? Is it Hermes? Is he the main guy?
Yeah. He goes around, he says, I'm introducing all the gods, and he goes, oh, are there any more gods in the house? And he goes, oh, I forgot. He says, there's a man on the train, standing by the train with feathers on his feet. Mr. Hermes, that's me.
Oh, okay. See, I heard that part, but I didn't hear the that's me part. Okay, he swallowed that.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I said, they are very clear that there's not going to be a happy ending.
Yeah.
I think I would be really good at this if I remembered anything about Greek mythology. I jumped ship after Percy Jackson. Sorry. Shout out to our white boy of the millennium.
I was on the ship before Percy Jackson, so it just got really bad for me when that came out.
No.
I reread Percy Jackson like once a year. Not because of that.
Really?
Well, what happened is I'll remember something, especially with the show coming out, I'll remember something that happens in the books. And I genuinely think those books are hilarious. I remember reading them for the first time and just the chapter titles. But they still, and not often I reread something and it'll make me laugh again. And I will every single time I read Percy Jackson. So what happened is I gotta read that book again. And even if it's even if it's the first book I started, and I'm like, I should just go through the rest of them. Okay. Anyway, yeah, Hermes is the narrator.
All right, those are all my predictions from Road to Hell.
Okay, pretty good. Yeah, Road to Hell is literally here are the characters that we are going to meet. You meet Hades, Persephone, Orpheus, Eurydice, Hermes, the chorus, which are the Fates. I don't know if you caught that.
Oh,
he said
I
that
did
too.
Not.
Yeah,
okay.
He said that's why he said there's 3 old ladies all dressed the same. Except in the show, they're not played by old ladies, which is interesting. Oh. But yeah, those are the Fates. So the Fates are serving as the Greek chorus.
It's ageism.
And then we've got the workers who they're like a entity unto themselves. Not necessarily they're important, but not speaking necessarily individual characters. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. The last time we did this, I gave you the plot in between. I want you to tell me what you think about the next song. Okay. So you're not making connections, and then I'll give you the rest of the plot.
All right.
So the next song I gave Elanor was Way Down Hadestown.
Okay. I said, well, I said this is the POV of Miss Persephone.
Mm-hmm.
Hell. Okay. So I am still unsure if Hell and Hadestown are the same thing, or if Hadestown is just like gone to so much crap that it's basically Hell. Because in my remembrance from my big old brain, Hades is, or the Hadestown, what are they? The underworld is Hell.
I think also it is referred to as Hades. That's also the guy's name.
Okay.
But yeah, Hades and Hell are the same. It's just Hadestown. I think the underworld has had like Hades is trying to give it like a revamp.
Okay.
This new PR.
Okay.
So it's called Hadestown, but like technically, yeah,
okay. I was a little bit confused about that, but you know what? We love a good PR campaign. I said Miss Girl wants morphine just to get through her time with her husband. Not a good look. And then Hades is mean, frowny face. And then ooh, he showed up. Let's see, where's my? Okay. I said Persephone is going back down to Hadestown. From the after her time in the real world, and unfortunately, her husband sucks.
He's got a nice voice.
He does. And I said he's a big boss businessman, but in this shady sort of way. And then I said they are not in love. And then,
which I think is interesting, because I think a lot of times, especially like in modern day retelling, it's like Persephone and Hades love each other so much, and like,
no, they don't.
I think this show toes the line of like both camps of like they do love each other, but also it's not a great situation. She got kidnapped.
She did get kidnapped. I would be upset if I was kidnapped. But One Direction has a really good song about that.
And I don't know if they've done, I don't think. It's called Stockholm Syndrome, for all those of you wondering.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, good. That was a yes. I was pretty sure it was that one.
Yeah,
though.
You're right.
I'm so smart. What did I call them? Directioners?
Yes.
I'm a directioner, guys.
I'm so happy for you.
Okay, those are your thoughts on Way Down Hadestown?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, pretty much it's the 6 months is up, winter's coming. So basically every time Persephone, those of you who don't know Greek mythology, Persephone lives in the underworld 6 months, lives above ground for 6 months. That's why we've got spring and summertime and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So when she comes back, it's like spring is coming, then they're like partying up for summertime. Then she's got to go back for the fall. And
it's one line I like college.
Yeah. One line I like is she's like, "You're early."
He goes, "I missed you."
I missed you. But like in summertime, climate change. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, she comes back and she's
like a celebrity doing activism. Climate change. Anyway.
So she's got to go back down, and it's going to get cold, and life's hard when it's cold because these people are working for, the time is undefined when this story takes place. Like, it's definitely not modern times. But it's definitely not like ancient Greece either.
No, I did.
It's like liminal space.
They had trains.
True. It's kind of like the whole thing, honestly.
Yeah.
Central focus.
I'm so glad I caught on to that.
So basically what happens is after he introduces all the characters, Hermes introduces all the characters, Eurydice and the Fates are describing like how hard the winter is, and how like the wind is like blowing, and there's not enough food, and it's cold and all this stuff. Like life's very hard for them.
Wah, wah.
Yeah. And then Orpheus sees Eurydice and thinks she's beautiful. Okay, so that last song was called Anyway the Wind Blows.
Oh. They didn't know each other already?
No.
Oh.
So Orpheus then sees Eurydice and thinks she's beautiful, and Hermes is like, his mother was a friend of mine. I kind of like look out for the guy. He says, you might say he's touched is the word he uses. Orpheus is like he's like a little dreamer. He's a little sensitive.
Okay.
One of the first things he says to her is, he says hello, and she goes, "Who are you?" And he says, "The man who's gonna marry you." This is immediately after Hermes said, "Don't come on too strong." He goes, "Okay, hello, who are you?" "The man who's gonna marry you." And Eurydice turns to Hermes and goes, "Is he always like this?" And Hermes is like, "Unfortunately."
What would he say if he was coming on too strong?
Yeah. So he just loves her, and he wants everyone to know.
The only worst start to that is, "Hello, nice to meet you. I'm gonna put a baby in you."
I think I'd kill myself. I don't think I can say that on the internet, but I would.
No, you can't. But me too. It would be worse though.
So there's that, and Eurydice. So that's "Come Home with Me." That's the name of that song. Then they sing "Wedding Song," which is basically Eurydice is like, oh yeah, how are you gonna take care of me? We don't have any money, we don't have any food, so who's gonna lay the wedding table and who's gonna make our wedding bed and blah blah blah, right? And Eurydice, and then Orpheus is like, oh, I'm working on a song to make spring come again. And Eurydice is like, okay, sure. But then he sings this, I think in the show he sings a song and a rose blooms in his hands.
Ooh.
But the song's not finished. She's like, how'd you do that? And he's like, I don't know, it's not done yet. And she goes, well, go finish it. And he's like hemming and hawing, and she goes, do you want to take me home? And he says, yes. And she goes, okay, then finish the song. And he said, great, sounds good. So they get married.
Okay.
Then we have Epic 1, which is Orpheus is singing the story of Hades and Persephone. Persephone then shows up on the train from Hadestown. We sing Living It Up on top. So basically summertime has come. So the winter's over. Summertime has come. They're drinking. They're partying. It's a good time because it's warm again. So anytime Persephone is like above ground, things are great and wonderful and awesome.
Okay.
Then Eurydice, at the same time Eurydice is beginning to fall in love with Orpheus. She's talking about All I've Ever Known. That's the name of that song.
I'm sorry. They already got married and now he's beginning to fall in love?
Well, I'm unclear on the when they exactly got married, to be honest.
Okay. All right.
I just know at some point they start referring to her as his wife. So let's say they haven't got married. She's beginning to fall in love. And she sings All I've Ever Known. She was like, all I've ever known is how to like be on my own and, you know, struggle and fight for what I need to survive. And now I have this nice thing with you, and I realize life can be more than that, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. They're in love or something. It's weird. Then we get waited on Hadestown. So basically, Hades comes early, as Persephone said. Summertime is over. He's bringing her back to the underworld. And Persephone's like, don't do that. Basically. And Eurydice, I think there's an interesting line in there where they talk about like, oh, Hades must have everything. And Eurydice cuts in and she goes, it kind of makes you wonder how it feels. Because she's like struggling to eat and keep herself warm.
Do they live in Hadestown?
No, they live above ground.
Okay.
So like, that's why like when the winter Persephone's gone in the wintertime, it's just hard and cold.
Okay.
Because Hades taking her down there. And so Eurydice is like, I wonder what it's like to like not have to worry about those things. And everyone looks at her and she's like, oh, never mind. But yeah, it kind of makes you wonder how, you know, there's a little voice in the back of your head. So that's up to way down Hadestown. Basically, long story short, introduce gods, introduce Orpheus and Eurydice. They fall in love. Important things, Orpheus is working on a song to make spring come again, even when Persephone is gone, keep things warm. Eurydice is like hoping for better.
Is this a world where we're having a song will actually fix things, or is he just insane?
No, in his song, because the flower bloomed, the song does actually
all right.
do something.
Because if I said I was working on a song to make spring come, I think you'd laugh.
So anyway, next that was up to way.
Spring.
That's up to way down Hadestown. Okay. Next, I gave you Gone. I'm Gone.
You sure did.
I sure did.
Okay, so this is about Orpheus and Eurydice. I don't know what her problem is, but she has one.
Yes.
She's starving or dying. See, I still have the thought that Hades is like some big, like, not necessarily mafia, but like some big bad capitalistic pig.
Yeah.
And somehow that ties into why whichever the girl one has to go to Hadestown. But I don't really know why. But I thought she was dying, and that's why she had to go to Hadestown. And I said, starving to death? ? Even though I think she says that explicitly in the lyrics.
You also missed the homeboy going, Hermes, that's me.
I didn't have my lyrics. I just had my AirPods and a dream.
And you're hard of hearing.
And I'm hard of hearing, and I'm a little dumb. But yeah, she has to go to Hadestown, and I was unclear if she was like forced to in some capacity, but I'm gonna go with she was forced to in some capacity.
Okay.
Can I go on to the next song?
Yeah.
Okay, the next song is called If It's True. The girl, this is the boy's perspective now.
Yeah.
The girl he loves is gone, want.
He does say that.
And he is grumpy about it. He misses her.
I would be too. I'm grumpy when you leave.
I am grumpy when I leave too. I'm grumpy when I have to do anything though. The worst part of this whole song is that he says, everybody knows walls have ears. And I didn't know that. I wasn't a big fan of that.
Your little dumb comment you made earlier.
So Homeboy follows the love of his life down to Hadestown.
Don't you do that for me?
It depends on the context, but possibly.
Okay.
So Hadestown is obviously, like, not doing well. I kind of got, like, just, like not great vibes. Like, people are overworked, people are underpaid, except for Hades, who is the head honcho in charge.
Mm-hmm.
He decides that if he can't really, like, actually do anything to help anything, he's not even gonna try. But then the next song, His Kiss the Riot. Just kidding.
I love that song.
He actually he has a lot of heart. He believes in himself. He believes in love.
Okay.
He believes in his mission. One of these words I can't say on the internet. So he's gonna band together with the workers to unsure if it's just to, like, get better conditions in Hadestown or to, like, fully overthrow Hades.
Mm-hmm.
But he's only doing it to get his girl back. So, like, is it the best intentions? No. If it works, will it have a good outcome? Yes. So, tricky situation. And they reunite. And they kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Which I did catch because the name of the song is about it. And, them reuniting after, I'm assuming after a while,
Mm-hmm.
kind of fuels the boys' desire to reform or overthrow or take down Hadestown.
Mm-hmm.
Hades does not like being overthrown, nor does he like the idea of freedom for everybody else. It's fine for him to have.
Of course.
It's not fine for anybody else. You want me to keep going? I'm on a roll.
If you want, yeah.
Okay. And then we've got Wait For Me, Reprise. And I didn't listen to the original one, so I could be missing some things. But we're back to Persephone and Hades. And... Oh, okay. All right. So I don't remember if this was the end of His Kiss the Riot or the start of Wait For Me.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I remember this from you telling me about it at one point. So the deal is, I think, something along the lines of they can be together, but when he leaves Hadestown, he can't, like, look back at her. Mm-hmm. And if he looks back at her, they both die. Whatever. Something bad happens if he looks back at her.
Mm-hmm.
I say his girl will be killed or some such nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
And this is explained to him, and he's like, I get it. No looking. I understand the rules. I can do this. We're good. But if you remember in the first song, it's like, this is a tragedy. This does not end well. We will not get a happy ending. This is sad. This is bad and sad. He looks. Oh my goodness. And so they both die, or they both, get sentenced to live in the walls and have ears, whatever. And then in Wait For Me, we're kind of back to Hades and Persephone, and Persephone is like, hey, you kind of gave those two kids a good college try of being together and being truly in love.
God loves a trier.
Sure. God loves a trier.
The gods love a trier.
The gods love... I think it's just the one. Well, maybe they all do. But Hades specifically. Well, not really. No. He was kind of setting a trap.
Persephone loves a trier.
Persephone loves a trier. Persephone is like, so you let those two kids try to be in love and, really try generally.
Mm-hmm.
why don't we try to not hate each other? And Hades says, well, let's try again next year. We'll have next year. And Persephone's like, okay. Because they're stuck in a vortex. And then we get to the last song, Road to Hell, reprise, which, if you remember, that was the first song. Mm-hmm. So we're doing a little full circle moment. And basically, it gets explained to us again that this is a sad song. Things do not end well. Things are sad and bad and sad. And they will always be sad and bad and sad. Hades and Persephone never gonna really get along. They're gonna love each, it's like your grandparents who have been married for 70 years and like they live together. They loved each other at some point.
They still referring to.
They're not gonna get divorced. They're too old. But they do, they hang out. But are they in love? Probably not. Although Hades and Persephone seem to have a little bit. Well, seems to have a little bit more vitriol than you would want your grandparents to have. But Hadestown is always going to be corrupt. The two lovers will never really, truly be able to be together and be happy and be content in their lives. And my final two notes, in order. Womp womp. And then, at least we had fun.
Did we have fun?
I had fun.
I think Orpheus and Eurydice had fun.
Well, no, but I had fun watching them.
Not have fun?
Yeah.
Okay. You got some points there. I'll give you that.
Woo!
So where do we leave off? On Gone, I'm Gone?
Yeah.
Okay. So Gone, I'm Gone. Oh, I gotta find it now.
You don't just have this stored up in your big brain?
I'm trying to pretend I don't. So, so way down Hadestown, basically, Persephone, it's time for her to leave. And then we get a song called A Gathering Storm, which is the cold weather has come back. Eurydice is, like, looking for food and firewood. And Orpheus is, like, off working on... He's, like, off in his own world. He's working on this song to make spring come again. But he gets so, like, caught up in that, he forgets other things are needed. Mm. And so Eurydice is like, hey, finish that song, please. And so then we've got epic number 2.
How many epics are there?
3 of them.
Good God.
So epic 2 is Orpheus is working on his song, and then Persephone and Hades argue in this song called Chant, which is like kind of what you're saying. Like, it definitely was something there once. The main thing with Hadestown itself, and like the whole Hades is a big businessman, is that in his effort to like make it more comfortable and inviting for Persephone to spend time with him, he's like hired these workers, and they're like, they've got the heat and light, and they're building a wall, which is a whole other like thing that's just not really important right now. But they're like working right till they die, essentially.
Okay, all right. So I did get that.
I'll tell you basically what it is these people were like promised something, and I don't think they realized that they were basically agreeing to die.
Okay.
He promised, he's like, well, I can give you food and warmth because it's warm in Hadestown and there's light in Hadestown, and you'll always have work to do, but they never go back
like
above ground.
Okay.
Exactly.
I did get like
because it's hell.
Vibes,
yeah.
But
it's literally hell they're going to, and they like begin to forget who they are.
But
and
the whole PR campaign.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's how he gets the people down there, and then by the time they're so far in it, they can't leave the work. They can never leave the work. Okay. So Persephone goes down there, and she's like, it's unnatural. Like, why is it so hot down here? That's not natural. It's supposed to be, this place is supposed to be cold. Why is it so bright down here? That's not natural. The place is supposed to be, and like all of his efforts just feel very fabricated, obviously, because they are. So Hades is like, whatever. And I think he had seen Eurydice earlier in the song where she goes, kind of makes you wonder how it feels about him. So he goes back to go find he was like, you know what, to Persephone, he's like, you know what, I'm gonna go find someone who will appreciate all these things I can give them.
Treat me right.
No, I think more that who wants him to treat them right. So he finds Eurydice, and Eurydice has like the wind, which in this case the wind is like the fates they serve as the wind, because they take her backpack of firewood and food she's found, and they've taken her coat. So she's just out there on the cold, and she's calling for Orpheus, but he's like literally off in the woods working on this song, so just doesn't hear her. So
that's not being a very good play.
No. So Hades comes above ground and sings a song called Hey Little Songbird, where he's like, I could provide you security and warmth and
Oh.
food.
Oh.
And even Eurydice kind of has a moment where she's like, this isn't right, because he calls her little songbird, right? And then it's like sweet, and then he kind of makes an allusion to her, like him trapping her. Oh, he says, hey, little songbird, sing me a song, right? Which, like, he's dictating what she has to do. And she's like, suddenly nothing is as it, because before she was, like, on board. And then she's like, all of a sudden, I'm not feeling great about this. But Orpheus, I'm calling for you, and you're not coming.
Mm-hmm.
So the Fates appear, and they sing a song called When the Chips Are Down, and they urge Eurydice to go to the underworld. The Fates, I don't think, are on anyone's side. They just kind of are there to...
doing it for the plot.
Yeah, literally. They're like, in Greek mythology, they can see everything you're going to do, so I think they're just there to encourage whatever is going on at the time. So they encourage Eurydice to join him, and Eurydice is like, I'm so cold and hungry, I have to go. And then the Fates sing a song that's basically to the audience, where they're like, how can you, and that's Gone, I'm Gone, which has one of my favorite lines in anything ever. They say, you can have your principles when you have a belly full. So they're like, you can't judge Eurydice for going down there, because in her shoes, wouldn't you have done the same thing?
You got to do what you have to do.
So I don't know if you caught that, but like in Gone, I'm Gone, those three voices, those are the Fates singing.
Is the story... So the narrator was obviously in both of the Road to Hells.
Mm-hmm.
Roads to Hell? Anyway.
Yeah.
Is it like... Is he a consistent presence throughout the whole thing? Or
yes.
Okay.
This part is... What happened is, in the way the story is set up, Hades is kind of like... I don't want to say a parental figure, but like the overseer of Orpheus. Okay. So usually when Orpheus is around, he's more present. And like a lot of this is about how Eurydice is so alone and cold and out there. And I think at the end of the day, because he's a god, Hermes, he can't technically step in.
Okay. All right. Because he, in just the song that you gave me, obviously.
Yeah.
7 songs out of probably 40.
Yeah.
He's kind of just in the first and the second one.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if it was like the Fates propelling it or them. Or...
That, and then also, the reason I gave you the first song on the album and the last song is because they loop back into each other, obviously. And he says, like, this is a sad song, but we're going to tell it again, and hopefully it turns out different this time. So, like, I think also kind of a sense of, like, he knows how this ends. So you just got to let it play its course, and always hope at the end something changes. So anyway, she goes to the underworld. Orpheus, of course, chooses now to show up, and he's like, where is she? And this is where we get the first wait for me. And Hermes is like, oh, she it's into Hadestown. Are you sure you want to follow her? And he's like, I'd go anywhere or wherever she is where I want to be.
Aww. And
you can't get onto the train to Hadestown unless Hades has like basically selected you for it. So Hermes is like once he's like, are you sure you want to go? And Orpheus is like, yeah. He explains to Orpheus how to get there, and he has to walk down there. And he's like, you gotta walk through the dark, and when you go down there, you don't have a name, and there's gonna be, like, a dog, and just, like, be glad, all you've got your own 2 legs, and be glad that you have them. So it's like, it's gonna be a long walk, it's gonna be hard, but if you were willing to do this, that's what you have to go through. And Orpheus is like, okay, and walks down there, right? And Eurydice, in the meantime, has arrived in Hadestown and signs a contract becoming one of the workers. And then we have a song called Why We Build the Wall, which is this whole thing because everyone's like, oh my God, it's a comment on the president that America had at one point in time. But she wrote this like years and years before, which is really funny.
I was going to say something about that, but I figured they weren't related. They just happened to line up.
And then it loops back around because in Why Do We Build the Wall, Hades is like basically speaking to the workers. It's like a call and response. So he's like, why do we build the wall, my children, my children? And they're like, oh, we build the wall to keep us free. And he's like, well, how does the wall keep us free? And they're like, the wall keeps out the enemy. Who is the enemy? The enemy is poverty. And then it's like, and like, why? And then the other thing is like, why the people want what we have because we have work and they have not. We have a wall to work upon. And they've like convinced themselves that like having something that they're going to spend the rest of their not lives basically doing is working on something. And he's like convinced them this is positive.
Well, I mean, you do have to convince your workers that they're really in it for the good of everybody.
And when in reality they've literally sold their souls. And they like start to forget their names, and that's like a whole thing. Eurydice's like, why aren't any of them answering me? And the Fates are like, yeah, that's what happens when you get down here long enough, is you just You're not a person anymore.
Yeah.
Because you're a little dead. So then that's when they go into intermission. We're coming back into Act 2. Persephone serves the workers in a speakeasy that she runs behind Hades' back because, you know, that's how all good relationships work.
Is the speakeasy in Hadestown?
Yeah.
Okay. Does he just, like, have no time for his wife? Maybe he should try having time for his wife if he wanted them to have a better relationship.
Yeah, I think the whole point of the story is effort, because, like, Orpheus is walking to Hadestown on foot to go get his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And Hades is like, you see all these things I did for you, but he gets so caught up in the things he's doing, he doesn't actually pay attention to the person he's doing them for. They're, like, parallel stories, you see? Orpheus and Eurydice.
I did catch on to that one. He doesn't seem like a great husband.
No. So then they sing the song called Our Lady of the Underground, which is like, Persephone's great. We love that lady. Then Eurydice in the meantime is like, she's like trying to leave, and she's now realizing that she can't unless Hades says it's okay, or she's going to begin to forget herself and all this stuff. So then we get way down Hadestown, the reprise, and then she sings over her regrets as her memories begin to slowly fade. And that's this song called Flowers. It's this very powerful moment. Then Orpheus shows up in Hadestown, and then he sings a song called Come Home With Me, reprise. And he's like, hey, I'm going to take you home. And it's cute, because I think in Come Home With Me, when they first meet or whatever, he's like, hello, who are you? It's something that's me, right? So when he comes down to Hadestown, she's like, it's you. And he goes, it's me.
Oh.
He's coming to take her home. And then Hades appears, and it's like, actually, just kidding, your wife signed a contract to be with me forever. And Eurydice is like, yeah, I did do that. I was hungry, so... Which, like, can we blame her?
What you have to do.
Yeah, so that's a song called Papers. Then we get a song called Nothing Changes, where Hades orders the workers to attack Orpheus, and the fates tell him to give up hope. And Orpheus vows to find a way to free her, rallying up the workers, and also catching Persephone's attention. Which is if it's true. So he's... in that song, he talks about, like... It isn't for the few, like, we are many and they are few, and it isn't for the few to tell the many what is true. Which, like, sounds like some union propaganda.
It does.
And I'm for it.
Me too.
But basically he's like, if it's true what they say, and, like, the girl that I love is gone, I shouldn't even try. And he's like, actually, you know what? I am going to try. I'm going to get all these people to turn against you while I'm at it. And I'm going to take my wife home. And meanwhile, Persephone's like, I think it's the effort again. She's like, you see the effort he's making? I admire that. So she's like fighting on their behalf. So she's inspired, and they sing this song. Her and Hades sing a song called How Long, which we talked about this a lot in songs where, like, the endings are the same, but they tweak them a little bit. Mm-hmm. So in this song, it's like a little back and forth between the two of them, and it's like he says, like, his heart is a bird on a spit in his chest, and it burns like a fire. And they say that for his heart and the sun, and you, like Hades says to Persephone, like, you are something on the spit in my chest, and, like, you're not going to convince me that I'm wrong. It'll make more sense when we listen to the song, but it's nice. But basically, like, Persephone's like, you should let them go, and he's like, I will not be swayed by your pity, essentially. And then, meanwhile, the workers are, like, beginning to question things because Orpheus is down there, and he's, all inspiring. And he also has
riling things up.
Yeah, and he also didn't sign a contract, so I don't think he's beholden to the same, like...
free agent.
Yeah, tendency to, like, forget himself as they are. And he's working on this song to, like, make spring come again, obviously. So he's very inspirational. And the workers are like, wait a second, we were promised freedom, and now all we do is work forever and ever and can't remember who we are. And so Hades is like, fine, I'm going to let you sing a song. I'm going to kill you anyway, but I'll let you sing a song. Because he's like, since your song made such an impression on my wife, I'll let you do it. And then he sings the song, and the song is... It seems like it's a song that Hades sang to Persephone when they first met. Okay. And, like, that's the song Orpheus is trying to finish. Because Hades is like, where did you get that melody? And Persephone's like, let him finish. And it reminds Hades of when he first met Persephone and they first fell in love. That's Epic 3, as Orpheus is singing his song. Okay. Which is literally him going, la, 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 but it, like...
Is it like...
Like, this is a...
Like the dream song? Is that the vibes we're giving off?
No, but it's not. It doesn't have words.
Oh.
It's just
he
like...
said he finished the song and it doesn't even have words?
It's just like... I think the song is supposed to... I think they just put it like a placeholder for, like, what you could imagine it could be. But it's obviously this very powerful moment that, like, Hades is like, wait a second, I've heard that. That's how I felt when I fell in love with Persephone.
That's cute.
Yeah. So then Hades and Persephone reconcile, and then Orpheus and Eurydice promise to stay together no matter how hard. And they sang a song called Promises. So she left, but okay, whatever. Anyway, she was hungry and cold. I get it.
She was hungry and cold.
And then Orpheus asks Hades, can they leave? And Hades is like, you know what? I haven't made a decision. And the Fates are like taunting him for this because they're like, if you let them go, they become martyrs. No, sorry. If you don't let them go, they become martyrs. But if you let them go, then like you're a fool and you're easy to take advantage of and everyone's going to think they can leave. And so Hades is like, I got to obviously keep up a good front. Like, I feel bad about it and I'm trying to be better, but I got to keep up a good front.
Oh,
so
he does have feelings.
Yeah. So Hades decides to let them, then we sing his Kiss the Riot, where Hades is like, okay, I'll let you go on one condition. Orpheus, the two of you can walk out together, but you cannot, Orpheus has to go in front and he cannot turn around until you leave the underworld. And my favorite part of that song is he says, every coward is courageous in the safety of a crowd, and bravery can be contagious when a band is playing loud. Nothing makes a man so bold as a woman's smile and her hand to hold. But all alone his blood runs thin, and doubt comes. Doubt comes in.
That is true. Men are weak.
Okay. Sure.
What? Was that not the point?
I mean, yeah, I guess so. Technically, sure. That was a point. And then Hermes goes and he's like, okay, good news. You guys can leave, but you can't look at each other. And Orpheus is like, why? And Hermes is like,
Hades said so.
And so in the meantime, Persephone and Hades like, let's give us another chance. And that's when she's like, can we try again? He's like, but now spring is coming again, so he has to let her go. He's like, we'll try again next fall.
Okay.
So that was a bit more positive than you thought it was.
Yes, that is, well, good.
And Orpheus makes it up to the end, where he's overcome by doubt and turns around. And basically what happens is not both of them die. If Orpheus turns around, Eurydice is condemned to the underworld and she can't come back.
Oh.
So in a lot of retellings, it kind of depends. One is like they both had to be out, and he forgot that and came out, like he left first and turned around and looked for her. Another one is he thought she fell and looked for her. Another one is just like he wasn't convinced that Hades was telling the truth. And in the show, the way they do it is like they shut the lights off, so like you can't really tell she's behind him, which is what he's experiencing. And I think Hades enchanted it, at least in the story, that like he can't hear her either, so he has no clue that he cannot tell she's behind him. He just has to go off of faith. But a lot of there's some quote by some scholar who was like, what could Eurydice complain of, that she had been loved again, because he walked all the way down there to get her and he loved her so much that he's like, I have to make sure you're behind me. So
Well, I think she could complain about being condemned to the underworld.
Yeah, but she's condemned because he loved her so much.
But,
he turned around.
He couldn't just like love her quietly looking ahead for 30 more seconds?
I like to. Don't you love looking at me?
I don't know what you look like.
I mean, that's not what I asked.
I'd pick a stranger in the crowd and be like, oh my god, my wife.
And so then that's doubt comes in because he's walking behind and he like can't tell she's there. And then we get Road to Hell reprise. So Hermes is like, we gotta tell this song again, and we hope it turns out different every time.
Well, maybe he'll go back, and next time he won't look.
But that's what, yeah. If you watch the show, it just loops back to the start.
I do like that as a device.
There's some in Road to Hell reprise. You'll hear them say like, she says, "Anyone got a match?" which is the first thing I think she says when she comes onto the stage. So it's literally looping back to the very beginning when they meet each other. And then at Curtain Call, they sing a song called "We Raise Our Cups," which is them raising their cups to Orpheus. And then something that made me weepy for some reason was when the guy and the girl who were playing Orpheus and Eurydice in the original cast were dating, right? Ooh. And then she left. And then, like, I think 2 months later, he left. And I think he was, like, the last of the original cast there.
Last of the real ones?
Yeah. And so all the OG cast came back, including his girlfriend. And so they did, like, a little speech. And the guy who's doing Hermes, like, usually conducts everything because he's the narrator, right? And he was like, okay, you have, this is your last chance for them to have a happy ending. So he's like, take your girl and leave, and don't turn around and look at us. And they leave. And that was the only, so that's the only, in all the years, the story of Orpheus and Eurydice has been told. That's the only time they, like, got out. As they ran off. It was very cute.
Who does, our boy play?
Orpheus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I get behind that, right?
Yeah.
And then there's this person named Betty who's playing Persephone right now. Yeah.
I've heard about her.
I like their voice. And I'm trying to think of anyone else we know. Oh, I just saw on Instagram the girl. Oh, what is she in? I haven't seen this show. I think it's The Summer I Turned Pretty. I think it's her. Is going to be playing Eurydice. I don't know anything about her, but I have some thoughts.
I don't know anything about that show, but everybody in that show looks young. And George
Usually-
Fisher is a grown man.
Usually, like, I'd say Hades is, like, older. Hermes is... right now, Hermes is being played by a woman. But usually, Hermes is older also. Persephone's, like, not quite as old as Hades, but she's older also. Like, she's obviously a grown woman. And then, yeah, Orpheus and Eurydice usually look young. Like, in their 20s.
I mean, that's not surprising.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, any thoughts now that I told you the plot?
We should go see it.
We should go see this. I hear they're showing it Saturday.
Oh my goodness.
So we should go.
No way.
Yeah. Will you be here?
Yeah, I will, actually.
Oh my god. The fates aligned.
All three of them.
All three of them. You know, it's a good show. I think you're gonna like it. I think it'll be much more powerful with the visuals. It is it is a show that's like basically song after song after song. It's like more opera-y in that sense. There is a lot of songs on the track. So I think, like, even though I gave you 7, I cut out a lot of stuff.
You did, yeah.
Like, the songs explain things to you, but there was a lot of stuff in between that. I was like, that's a plot line I just cannot be worried about right now. So, did you like it?
I did like it.
I thought so. I felt like it was enough, like...
You gave me the big points.
Yeah, and it wasn't... I feel like it's a show that's, like, not musical theater-y in the sense that, like, embarrassing theater kids. You know what I mean?
I don't think you're quite one to...
I don't think I'm an embarrassing theater kid. I just like a musical.
Oh my goodness! Sorry, have you seen the video on Twitter of it's in a movie theater with the new Mean Girls playing, and like at the very first song there's like a collective
I haven't
groan.
watched it, but I keep seeing it pop up. Yeah.
I'm so sorry if you do like I.
To be fair, though,
That's the only thing I know.
I have not seen it marketed. Yeah, like I knew that, but like I haven't seen the first few trailers that came out. Someone was like, "How are you gonna market a movie that's a musical and not use a single song from the music?" They're using like an Olivia Rodrigo song.
I saw a TikTok that was basically about how, because they didn't market the Timothée Chalamet one as a musical either.
Wonka?
Yeah.
Let me see, but if I got there, I'd be like, no, that checks out.
Yeah, but apparently the whole theory that I saw on TikTok, that I don't know if I agree with, but I am sharing, is that like the movie companies, whatever, are like scared to market to their actual audience.
Yeah, because their actual audience is not, unfortunately.
Because their actual audience is theater kids.
Yeah.
But I think they could do, a little school field trip to Mean Girls and bring in that revenue. College theater kids, if the little memorabilia is cute enough, they'd be good to go.
And then also, like, in the Timothée Chalamet case, people think he's cute. If you just say he's in something, people will probably still go to watch it, even if it's not their, like, shtick.
Yeah.
So.
I wouldn't. I'm interested in seeing Mean Girls. I was interested in seeing it before I knew it was a musical, just because Renee Rapp, I don't think we're surprised by that. But I wouldn't go see Wonka, and knowing it's a musical starring Timothée Chalamet makes me want to see it less.
No, actually, I just think that's hilarious. Unless
it's just like 2 full hours of the Rap Round Table sketches that I'd watch.
What were we gonna say about a musical? I don't remember.
Okay, great talk.
Great talk. And then I know a lot of people were like upset about the Mean Girls plot, but everyone's like, it's not a remake of the Mean Girls movie. It's a movie version of the musical, which had a slightly different plot, I guess. Also, Cameron Dallas was in that, and there was one song that his character was supposed to sing, and they just cut it out because it's Cameron Dallas.
I saw people that were like upset that it seems like Regina is the main character now.
Yeah.
But, like, if she could be in the musical, you know? This isn't a direct remake.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, we're on a time crunch.
We are.
So we're going to go. But next show, we're going to attempt to hopefully recap the musical and compare notes.
Yes.
Your hair looks really good right now.
Thank you very much.
Okay. You guys can't see it, but I can because Elanor is here.
Yeah.
So we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we will.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening. Don't quote me on that. One day we'll have an outro, but it's not today.